Hi everyone, it's Tanya and welcome to today's video. In today's video I'm here to talk to you about 11 books I hope to read this winter. We will start with the obvious one, because you already know all about it. I don't need to explain it to you. I will only explain shortly for those who are new to this channel. So the first book that I hope to read this winter is obviously, I will scooch, Don Quixote. This is our big book club pick for January and February, and if you're new to this channel, I have started a book club which is called Big Book Club, which is dedicated to reading long, big, scary books. If you want to join, the link to the Discord group will be down below in the description. Basically, we just read the chosen book for 2 months, and then in the end of January I will upload a video where I will suggest you some other big books to read for the next round of the book club, which will take place in March and April. And then you choose the book that you want, and the book that receives the biggest number of votes will be read in the second round. Don Quixote, I'm super excited. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for January to start. I'm still waiting for my copy to arrive, but I'm very much looking forward to reading it. Next 2 books are the books that I have already started. Well, obviously I will finish them this winter. One of them is Emma. I am, as you can see, a little bit more than halfway through. I'm thoroughly enjoying this book. Emma is a very unlikable character. Sometimes I'm just sitting there and I'm so angry with her. Sometimes I just feel like someone just needs to come to her, just shake her to her senses, maybe slap her a little bit on the face, because like the things that she does, like how self-centered she is, like how she's always right, how she can do no wrong, how her understanding is the only right understanding that there is there. With all that, she is not a bad person per se, like she doesn't mean to do anybody anything bad. She's just an interesting character who views herself very highly, and everybody around her adores her, and that's why nobody sees any faults with her. She's very, I guess, likable for those people. I myself, like, I cannot imagine myself being with her in one room. I would leave probably. But this book is also very funny. The writing, the sentences are just so, I don't know, they're just beautiful and funny at the same time, and full of wit and sometimes sarcasm, or like just, you know, making fun of her characters and the situations. I'm really enjoying it so far. I also heard from other people that Emma has the best character development in all of Jane Austen's novels. And so I'm very much looking forward to that development because currently, even more than halfway through the book, there hasn't been much development. Emma is still Emma and I'm just waiting for her to grow up. I feel like there's going to be a big fall for her. I don't know, I'm just looking forward to that, because honestly, this girl, I don't even understand like how, like why do people like her. She makes me angry sometimes. But I am enjoying, I'm really liking this book, so I would highly recommend reading it. I still need to finish it myself. So this is the second book that I will finish this winter. Another book that I have started, and I will obviously also finish it this winter, is Two on a Tower by Thomas Hardy. You have seen this book in my bookstore vlog. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it up here. But basically, yeah, I went to a bookshop and I bought 2 beautiful books in this beautiful Penguin English Library editions, old editions with this. I'm sorry, but I'm just so happy to have this portrait. I really like it. I've started this book. I am very little very little, just like a few pages, 15 pages into it, but I will finish it eventually. I will finish, and first 15 pages I liked. After I finish reading Emma, I want to read more of Jane Austen, and I have my eye set on Persuasion after Emma. It's her shorter work. I think it has only 200 pages, 250 pages. This is Also a love story, as you might have expected from Jane Austen's novels. From what I understand, about a young woman who is forced by her family to break up her engagement with the man she loves because the man isn't successful and isn't rich enough. And so eventually they meet again after some time, and I guess her feelings come back. I'm not sure yet, but I've seen a lot of people name actually Persuasion their favorite book of all of Jane Austen's novels. So I'm very excited to give it a try. Let me know in the comments if you have read Jane Austen's novels, which one was your favorite so far. I'm currently reading Emma, and then it will be Persuasion's turn. After that, I want to read books that won National Book Award. So it's an American book award. I didn't follow it as like, you know, short lists and long lists, but I just checked the winners in different categories. I chose 3 categories. I chose the category novel, middle grade, and translated literature. So I want to read these like 3 winners in these 3 categories. Currently I have 2. So first I have King and the Dragonfly. So this book won the middle grade category. It looks like this book actually deals with very heavy topics for a child, for a small kid, and I'm very curious to see how it handles it, because it deals with death of a family member, it deals with grief of the whole family, it deals with a disappearance of a close friend, and also with your sexuality. So, and also it's a very short book, so, and the font is like enormous. I am excited, like, I really want to see how it handles these topics in the context of children literature. Basically we have King, the boy King. His brother died. King is convinced that he hasn't actually died, he just turned into a dragonfly. But it is a secret, and he keeps this secret to himself, and he just watches his family drown in grief after losing their son. At the same time, he has a friend, Sandy, believed by other children to be gay, and so Khalid, King's brother, the one who died, before he died, he said to King to cut all the ties with Sandy, quoting, "You don't want anyone to think you are gay too, do you?" He hasn't talked to Sandy in a long time, but then Sandy also disappears, and apparently King starts looking for his friend. These are pretty heavy topics for children, and I'm very curious to see how it handles it. And also, yeah, it won the National Book Award. Must be very good. The book that won the award in translated literature category is Tokyo Ueno Station. Tokyo Ueno Station by Yu Miri. So I will just read you the blurb. Born in Fukushima, the same year as the emperor, Kazu's life is tied by a series of coincidences to Japan's imperial family and to one particular spot in Tokyo, the park near Ueno Station. The same place his unquiet spirit now haunts in death. It is here that Kazu's life in Tokyo began as a laborer in the run up to the 1964 Olympics, and later where he ended his days, living in the park's vast homeless villages. Traumatized by the destitution and destruction of the 2011 tsunami, and enraged by the announcement of the 2020 Olympics, Yu Miri uses her outsider's perspective as a Korean-Japanese writer to craft a novel of utmost importance to this moment, a powerful rebuke to the imperial system and a sensitive, deeply felt depiction of the lives of Japan's most vulnerable people. I didn't realize that she was Korean-Japanese. Actually, Yu Miri. Yu. It could be a Korean name. I didn't, and that's exciting. That's exciting. So you see, and it won also National Book Award in translated literature. But it sounds so good. So life, actually, we will follow a ghost living in Ueno Park. But it must be a haunting and a hard story to read. But it's not. It's very short actually. So I think I can read it quite fast, and I'm sure I will like it as well. I'm sure I will enjoy it as well. So yeah, Tokyo Ueno Station. The third book, which I still don't have on my hands because it hasn't arrived yet, the book that won the category novel, Interior Chinatown. And apparently, as far as I see, it is maybe a story of not maybe coming of age, but like finding yourself, because we follow a young man who lives in the Chinatown and he doesn't perceive himself as anything special. He is just a regular like Asian man living in America. He works in a restaurant, but he has a dream. He wants to become this kung fu guy, the most respected role that anyone who looks like him can attain. Or is it? After stumbling into the spotlight, Willis finds himself launched into a wider world that he has ever known, discovering not only the secret history of Chinatown, but the buried legacy of his own family. And this book explores themes of pop culture, assimilation, and immigration. It is the most moving, daring, and masterful novel yet, fresh and beautiful. It sounds very interesting and very good. I like that it has to do with family. I like that it has to do with your family legacy, but also finding yourself in this big world and coming into your own power and into your own strength. Looking forward for this book to finally arrive, and I think I will start probably with the easiest one, with the middle grade. So I will, well, easy, I say easiest, maybe it's not going to be easy, who knows, let's see. I think I will start with this, and then I will read Tokyo Ueno Station because it just sounds so good, so good. And then as a grand finale I will read the Interior Chinatown. So I'm very excited for this whole project, reading the winners of National Book Award. After that, I have an Iranian book I want to share with you. This Oriental by Negar Javadi. This book is very famous. How many awards it has received? And I think it was shortlisted for National Book Award. Maybe it wasn't, maybe I'm wrong. I found it through Dublin Book Award this year. It was shortlisted, didn't win, but was shortlisted. This is an Iranian novel by an Iranian author, and in this story we follow a young woman who fled Iran with her family after the revolution. She was 10 years old at that time. Currently she is living in France, in Paris, with her parents. She's 25 years old now. She's starting to experience lots of memories of her family and her ancestors in Iran, back in Iran. Formidable great-grandfather with his harem of 25 wives. And she, at the same time, she's thinking about her parents, who have always been opponents of each regime that befalls them. And so I guess it's kind of a family story with different characters from the family and their lives. At the same time, life of people who left their country and immigrated to a different place, and if they found their happiness or if they didn't find their happiness in a different regime and a different place. That's what I get from the description. Let's see, but I'm very excited to give it a try. Next two novels are from Argentina, so there are two Argentinian novels. One of them is very short, The Invention of Moral by Adolfo Bioy Casares, and it sounds like apparently it's going to be something strange, something unusual, but at the same time description on the back calls it like the perfect novel. So Octavio Paz described it. It may be described without exaggeration as a perfect novel. Bioy Casares' theme is not cosmic but metaphysical. The body is imaginary, and we bow to the tyranny of phantom. Love is a privileged perception, the most complete and total perception not only of the unreality of the world, but of our own unreality. Not only do we traverse as a realm of shadows, we ourselves are shadows. It sounds maybe philosophical. It sounds a little bit philosophical to me, so we will see what it's going to be about. Apparently it's a love story, like at the core of the novella there is a love story which was inspired by Casares' own fascination with a certain American actress. I'm intrigued. I am definitely very much intrigued. I will be reading this book soon. One more Argentinian novel is one that I have never heard of before. It is Zama by Antonio Di Benedetto. It was first published in 1965 and currently is recognized as a masterpiece of Argentinian literature, which makes me excited. This novel describes the solitary suspended existence of Don Diego de Zama, a highly placed servant of the Spanish crown who has been posted to a remote part of Paraguay. Eaten up by pride, lust, petty grudges, and paranoid fantasies, Don Diego does as little as he possibly can while plotting an eventual transfer to Buenos Aires, where everything about his hopeless existence will, he is confident, be miraculously transformed and made good. Don Diego's slow nightmarish slide into the abyss is not just a tale of one man's perdition, but an exploration of existential and very American loneliness. Zama's stark dreamlike prose and spare imagery make every word appear to emerge from an ocean of things left unsaid. This is such a good description. I really liked it, and it makes me very excited to give this novel a try. It's also a short one. It's very 200 pages, around 200 pages. So it will be, I hope, a quick read, but I'm very excited to give it a try. A story about a lonely man sliding down in the abyss of loneliness. We should try it. We should give it a try. Next book is a Russian one. I'm excited that it finally came. This is Lover, Larus, I guess the English name. So I talked about this book in my video where I talked about modern Russian writers that I need to read. I will link this video up here if you haven't watched it. One of those books and one of the authors was Lover, and the author is Evgeny Vodolaskin. Evgeny Vodolaskin currently is one of the most famous, I guess, and respectful novelists currently working in Russia. He himself is a professor of either history or old Russian language, something like that. I was actually very surprised to see that this novel is so short. I expected it to be very long for some reason. I was convinced that it was long, but it's actually only, it's not even 500 pages. It's 440 pages, so it's quite short. And in this novel we follow a medieval doctor who is a very talented doctor. He helps a lot of people, but then epidemic of plague happens and he loses his girlfriend, he loses the love of his life. After the girl dies, he decides to spend his life living for her, kind of to allow her spirit go to paradise. And he starts traveling around Russia and around Western Europe, treating people from various diseases. He also travels in time, and so it's a story about his life and his experiences. So probably I will just start reading it in parallel with other books. I will read just a few pages every day, and yeah, hopefully I'm sure I will like it. And the last book I wanted to show you today is Piranesi. I actually wanted to read it in November, but I didn't get to it in November. So the plan is to read it as soon as possible. Probably after I read my Jane Austen's book. So after I read my Jane Austen's book, I will pick up Piranesi. Piranesi will be my next read. I was so looking forward to this book because I really like Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. This book is also something weird and something strange because we follow this character, Piranesi, who lives in this palace with so many different labyrinths and rooms, and he has never been outside of this palace. There is also an ocean in the palace somehow, and the ocean sometimes raises, so waters periodically raises, but our main character knows how to navigate this place. That's why he doesn't get drowned. There's another one character who sometimes comes to the house and he asks Piranesi to help with certain research, and while doing this research, Piranesi understands that there is world and there is life outside of the palace, which he has never knew existed before. Hopefully I will like it. It is, I think it's shortlisted for Costa Book Award in the category novel. So that makes me also very excited to read it. And there you have it, guys. So just 11 books, well, and this currently 9, but actually 11 books that I hope on reading this winter. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments which books you want to read this winter, which books are on your this winter TBR. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a very good day. I hope you are staying safe, and I will see you soon in my next videos. Thank you very much. Bye.